What room are we in here?
This is the bathroom.
And we're looking at a marker entitled damage B2. Would you agree with me that the damage B2
This is important.
looks like it encompasses 4 feet and between 9 and 10 inches?
Yes.
Just for the record, there's 2 bathrooms.
Yes.
Yes.
You said we're in the bathroom.
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am. Thank you, Judge. The bathroom that we've been discussing.
That trajectory is weird.
Is that all the bathroom that's directly next to the children's bedroom?
Yes.
Did you notice any damage whatsoever in the bathroom that would be right next to that, adjacent to the master bedroom?
No.
So, all along during your testimony, when we've been discussing a bathroom that has any damage to it, we would be talking to the bathroom where the wall is shared directly with the children's room.
Yes.
Okay. 22QQQ. Is this photo documenting the difference between the 2 damages on the wall?
Yes.
Damage A1 and damage B2.
Yes, and how far it is from the entryway door.
Okay, and so on the right where this 1 starts, is that where the door would be open?
Yes.
22RRR, I'm placing on the Alamo. Take us back.
This
what
is
we
so
know
strange,
The
man.
children's bedroom.
The photo depicted, we see a mattress and bed railings. Are we looking at the top bunk or are we looking at the bottom bunk?
The top bunk.
The damage that we saw, we see damage A and damage B. Are those the damage markers that we discussed before seeing on the top bunk?
Yes.
Now, we see an item that is sticking out of damage A and an item right next to damage B. It's not going through damage B, but it looks like it's coming from behind the wall. Help us understand what those 2 items are. Let's start with the green one that's coming out of damage A.
That is the trajectory rod that we were discussing earlier.
That green trajectory rod that you said we were discussing earlier, is that the same exact trajectory rod that we saw depicted going through the damage into the children's bathroom, through the shower curtain, and into the tile?
Yes, it is.
That is the same exact rod we were looking at.
Yes.
What about, we see it looks like red or pinkish rod that we're looking at here. It's right next to the damage B marker, but it's not coming out of it. Help us understand that.
So this one is going into the hole in the wall. That would be damage B1,
Where is damage B1 located?
on the wall behind that railing.
Okay, so we're looking at 22SSS. Is that the same trajectory rod we just were looking at that goes from the children's bedroom into the children's bathroom?
Yes.
And we see a red substance on the right side as well. It looks like 22TTT refers back to, is this the children's shower that we were talking about, the green trajectory rod?
Yes.
And referring back to 22SSS, that's the same pole depicted in both. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
22UUU, what are we looking at here?
This is a bag, and on top of it is a holster, a box of ammunition, and a magazine.
Was that bag located right here when it was photographed?
Looks like
No,
her
it's not.
purse.
Where was it located before it was photographed?
That was in the children's bedroom closet.
So it was brought down from the closet so that you could take the contents out and photograph them?
Yes.
22VVV, are placed on the Elmo. Where is this damage located?
This damage is where the projectile came from of the B2 in the bathroom that shares the wall with the children's bedroom.
Dang.
We're looking at 22WWW. What do we see here?
This is the bottom of the drawer that we saw earlier with evidence markers 13 and 14. This is once taking the clothing out, evidence marker 18 was placed.
What room is evidence marker 18 found in?
The master bedroom.
So the drawer that we saw before, is this the same drawer?
Yes.
So help us understand, you didn't see these items before because of why?
There was clothing on top of it.
Once you removed the clothing, you were able to see these, and that's why you placed this evidence marker there?
Yes.
Tell us what exactly is depicted in this photo.
In this photo, there are loose live rounds at the bottom of this drawer.
And again, a live round is what?
A round that has not been fired yet by a gun.
22XXX. Is this just a closer up of evidence marker 18, those live rounds that you're discussing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is. I see y'all in the comments, man. This is
22YYY.
wild.
22YYY.
That is the head stamp of the live rounds that were in that drawer.
So it looks like they had another gun.
Let's see. 22AA. I'm placing on the Elmo. What are we looking at here?
This is the Adidas bag that was at evidence marker 17.
Remind us, where was this Adidas bag initially located?
Initially in the master bedroom closet,
After it was taken from the master bedroom closet, where was it placed so that you could photograph it?
on the bed in the master bedroom.
Now, where are these photographs taking place?
These are taken back at the office at the crime scene section.
22 BBBB. What are we looking at here?
This is that same bag just opened.
22 CCCC. I'm placing down the Elmo. What are we looking at here?
These are now the contents I took out of the bag.
So it looks like in this photo, in the top middle, it looks like a computer mouse with some wiring. Is that correct?
Yes,
Then we see to the right of that, we see a zippered pouch right here. And next to that, it looks like another sort of pouch.
yes,
We see below that, looks like some plastic, or one plastic container of sorts. Is that right?
oh
It's
yes,
a plastic bag?
yes.
What's to the left of the plastic bag?
That is a magazine.
Magazine, what's to the left of the magazine?
Ammunition box,
What's to the left of that?
batteries,
Now we're going on what would look like the third row. We see a box of metal objects that have a point to it. What are those?
those
Where are
are
the other
also
guns?
ammunition box,
What's inside of the ammunition box?
live rounds,
To the right of that, we see what looks like a rectangle of something. What are those?
live rounds as well.
To the right of that, we see another rectangle. And for the record, the one to the left that she just described was more, what color would you call that? Silver?
Yes,
The one to the right, what color would you say those were?
more gold,
And what are those gold things?
also live rounds.
Now, next to those gold live rounds, we see 3 items next to each other. They look similar, but they're different lengths. Tell the jury what they are.
They are magazines.
Magazines for what?
A gun.
Extendo.
We look next to that and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. What are those?
Those are ammunition boxes.
Later, do you open up those ammunition boxes and photograph the contents inside of those other 7 ammunition boxes?
Yes,
Below that, it looks like a cell phone, is that correct?
yes.
What's to the left of that? It looks like something on its side, I can't tell.
I think that is a magazine as well.
Okay, and to the left of that, we see 1, 2, 3, 4 items on the bottom of the page. What are those?
Casings,
Casings. There's one silver item above that. What is that?
also a casing.
There's one, what color would you call that? A gold item above
gold.
that? It looks like actually there's 3 of them. What are those?
Also casings.
To the left of that, we see an orange item that is like a U in nature that looks like it has 2 little silver keys on it. What is that?
A lock of some sort.
Above that, what are we looking at right here?
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, and to the left of that on the far left bottom corner, it looks like a circle with something coming out of that. What is that?
It's used to hold ammunition, live rounds.
So let me exit all the way. 22 DDDD. Is this a closer up view of the contents of those boxes we just discussed?
Yes, it is.
And remind me again, what are those?
Live rounds.
22 EEEE.
This is
That
typical in the
circle item
South.
That has something.
Most
coming out of
people
the
have
top.
safes, though.
What are we looking at there?
These are the live rounds that came from that circular device.
So when you
It's a
photographed
drum,
circular
lady.
items
Come
the
on.
first time, did
How do you not
see
know what a
those
drum is?
Silver items up top. Did those come from within that
Yes.
circular item?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and Judge, may I have a moment to hand this to my co-counsel to put back in order, please?
Basically, they had a good bit of guns and a lot of ammo. And no safe. Yeah, it looks like they didn't have a safe either, which is, again, y'all be surprised. A lot of people here in the South, it is what it is. Now, I will also say, as many people teach their kids how to use guns, a lot of people in the South don't teach their kids about gun safety per se. So a little bit of an imbalance there.
We have just a moment, Judge.
Yes.
It's crazy.
May I retrieve scissors, please? And Judge, what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 9, do I have permission to publish?
Yes?
And if you want to step down for me? Sure.
We got some more evidence
State's
coming
Exhibit
in.
9. The shell casing that you got from the bottom bunk, do you remember when you were discussing that with the jury?
Yes.
If you don't mind standing, so they don't see it. If you don't mind removing that, if you look at the label, this is the shell casing that was taken from the bottom bunk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we saw a picture of that earlier, correct?
Yes.
Don't mind removing that shell casing. Would you mind putting it on Elmo so they can see? So, orient us again. We walk into the children's bedroom. On the bottom bunk, we find this spent shell casing.
Yes.
Okay. Can you put it back in front of you? Now, State's Exhibit 10. Do I have permission to publish?
Yes, everything that's admitted you could publish.
Thank you, Judge. State's Exhibit 10 was found on the top bunk, correct? Yes. So if you recall, the photos of the blue blanket, and there were 3 shell casings found on the blue blanket, correct?
Yes.
And this is one of them. Can you put that in?
Interesting. And it looks like 80% of you so far are saying he's going to be guilty. Or you would give him a not guilty, or a guilty verdict, excuse me.
This is 10, sorry.
Yes, it happens with kids and unsecured weapons a lot.
Oops, sorry. We're looking at States 11, which was another one found in the top bunk.
Yes.
And I see y'all asking how long the kids were at home. We don't know how long the kids were at home, but Jermaine was supposed to be at home with the kids while Shirley was out with her sister. And then he actually left, was following them, I guess, to see what they were up to. They noticed he was following them on the interstate. They pulled over. They're like, "What are you doing here?" He left. They left and went home. What happened after that? What happened during that time? We don't know. We don't know how long it took either. Again, this whole thing is weird.
Looking at States 12. Or double back, sorry. You can reach in and get it. So this is also from the top bunk.
Yes.
On that blue blanket.
Yes.
And I see y'all asking about, did he admit to doing it? I mean, you heard him on the video. He said it was an accidental discharge.
13. The last one from the top bunk. So when you see me looking, opening all of these envelopes, hopefully you understand why are they packaged this way.
Yep, he said it was cleaning the gun and it went off.
The first packaging is the package it and sign it to show that it's our evidence.
And does it have labels on it too, so that they know and can keep track of where everything is and what it is?
Yes.
So stage 13 that we're looking at right now, this is the last of the casings that were found at the top bunk on that blue blanket, right?
Yes.
Let me mark this one. Now, the next item that we look at, when you were in the master bedroom, we saw pictures of that silver dresser. We saw a wallet next to one of the evidence markers.
Yes.
Here, you have the gloves on. Can you pull it out? Is this the wallet that you
Yes.
took into custody?
Yes, it is.
Can you open it? Oh, sorry. We're way too zoomed in. Okay. That's states 15. Can you put that back in? States 17. I'm opening. The bathroom that we were discussing that had all of the damage was only in the children's bathroom. The projectile that was located in the shower tile, did you collect and take that into custody?
Yes, I did.
There's too many envelopes, hold on. Okay, can you get the tape open or do you need my, there you go. Hold on, I'm just gonna zoom in. Okay. States 18. I'm now opening, I'm bringing it back to the shower with damage, children's shower. There was a point on the wall that we saw photos of where the drywall was removed so that you could collect what was inside.
Yes.
It was a projectile that you found inside, correct?
Yes.
I think that was the photo that we looked at where we could see your hand in the photo.
Yes.
Can you open what's inside of stage 18 to show the jury what was found inside of that wall? Perfect. States 19. We're looking at, you talked about the bottom bunk bed, or the mattress that you moved to the bottom to collect projectile from the mattress. Was that item seized and collected?
Yes.
I mean, think of
You can put that on the envelope for me so that the jurors can see.
the defense is saying that he didn't shoot him. I mean, we can put two and two together, right? The defense knows certain things that they can't say. The defense is clearly saying and alluding to the fact that Jermaine didn't shoot him. So, who did? I think y'all are having the conversation in the comments. I think we have an idea, but again, let's let this play out. We'll keep going.
Do it from that mattress. I just zoomed in for the record. I'll take that back. Thank you. The only other thing I want to clarify, the wallet. You took the package out, sorry. Sure.
And
Can you open up
Jermaine Bass has 0 priors. 0, by the way.
the wallet and take out the ID from the wallet so that the jurors can see whose ID was contained within the wallet. For the record, the witness pulled out a Florida driver's license. I'm zooming in on it. says Jermaine Lavonda Bass Jr., and it's showing the defendant's photograph. That's from the wallet that was found next to the firearm in the silver drawer, correct?
Correct.
I think I need you to stay right here for the next item. I need to have a moment, Judge. Do we have... Can we approach just briefly, Judge?
Sure.
So they're approaching for a second. Let's skip ahead, see what's going on here. What do y'all think about this so far?
Okay. The last thing we talked about was the drawer where in the silver dresser, master
It's very
bedroom, you
sad.
find the wallet, you also find a firearm. Did you collect the firearm?
Yes.
This has been entered into evidence as State Exhibit 16. I have permission to help you open. So the firearm that you found in that silver drawer, we saw in evidence.
A lot of unanswered questions.
Is
I
the
agree.
Firearm that you collected from the Heritage Grove townhome that day.
Yes.
Pardon? The box
Ryan
is
says
open?
she wants to
Was it
change
made
her
safe
vote.
already? All right.
It's understandable.
Now, explain to the jury how is this made safe during,
With the zip tie.
place it on the table for me. So, now that State 16 is on the Elmo, we see a zip tie on the top that goes through, it looks like where a projectile would come out.
Correct.
Does that help make it safe?
Yes.
What about the bottom one? What is that helping to? The bottom zip tie?
That is zip tying the trigger area, and it attaches the firearm tag.
There is another item inside. Can you pull it out so the jury can see, please? So the firearm has been placed on the Elmo. Now we're placing what looks like, tell the jury what is the item you just placed on the
That gun
Elmo.
is not safe.
Can you hold it up so that they can see how many bullets can be put inside of it? Here, you can do it.
Sure.
So you just placed the magazine on its side, and we see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes on it. Okay, we can put it back in box. Thank you.
So yeah, 6 shots.
You can take your seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I- Do you have to show them the judge?
Yes.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe the son was tired of the parents fighting all the
Judge, Let
time.
me just have a minute. I need to put gloves on as well for this.
Dang, I hate to even think about that, to be honest.
Oh.
So I want to direct your attention to the top bunk of the children's bed. You showed us in photos, and then you showed us the 3 casings that were found on the children's top bunk. Just now, we saw that they were marked with evidence marker 8, 9, and 10. We just saw them on the elbow. We discussed how they were on top of a blue blanket. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So this is what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 14. We're going to go ahead and open this item. The blue blanket that we've been discussing and that we saw photographed with the shell casings and the evidence markers on top of it, was that item taken into evidence and preserved?
Yes.
There's one item in here. is an item contained within states, I think 17. Evidence marker. I'm holding a pillow that has red substance on it.
Oh, not the pillow.
Is this the pillow that was located on the top bunk?
Jeez.
Where the rest of the evidence markers and items were located?
Yes.
The more I find out, the less I know. Yeah, I feel that.
There's another item located within this exhibit. that I'm going to pull out now.
Yeah, we'll hear about how long he was gone too. Maybe we can put 2 and 2 together and come up with a time.
Judge, do you mind if I use that tabletop to help place this on while I open it?
Well,
So
whatever
that's
the
right
bailiff
there.
wants you to do.
Thank you. This is the blue blanket, or one of the blankets that were located on the top of the bed,
Yes.
where those evidence markers and shell casings were located.
Yes.
Looks like it's a Batman
Yes.
blanket. One more item from the evidence.
That's true. No, the kids were at home when he followed them. And Florida does have the death penalty. Keep that in mind. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Is this the other blanket that was located on the top bunk where we located the shell casings with those markers that we saw in the photos?
Yes.
And that you showed on the
Yes.
looks like it's a Star Wars blanket with the red substance. You have just a moment, Judge.
Yes.
Judge, if I may just have a moment, you can take your seat to just repackage. Thank you. Okay. Judge, if you don't mind, the counsel is going to help me repackage. I just have a couple of other questions.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll come around this way. It's 28A through E, we've already done incidental evidence.
What number?
It states 28A through E.
All right.
I'm placing on the Elmo states 28A. The damage and the red substance we're looking at in this photograph, where is this from?
This is the child's bedroom on the wall that the bunk bed was on.
So at some point, it looks like in this photo, the bunk bed has been removed out of the wall. Was that for this photo?
Yes.
So the bunk bed has been moved so that you can see the wall better?
Yes.
In one of the photos we were looking at earlier, we were discussing the trajectory rods. You talked about the trajectory rod that we said was like red or pinkish in color. Is this the one that we were referring to that you and I were?
Uh-oh. I came back and messed the whole thing up. I should have just stayed away. Hold on, y'all.
Discussing before.
Yes.
Now, the damage that was done to the railing that was up against the wall, is that coordinating with this damage B1 or is this separate?
It is separate. At the time, I thought it was coordinated, but it is separate.
Okay, so And is the point of the measurements of the wall, help us understand, we've seen other things before, but why place these measurements here for these 3 items?
So this is a method that we call T-scaling. We basically go across from the entrance of that bedroom across and then down. It just gives you a height of all 3 of these areas. It shows you the damage, how high it is, and how far across it is, as well as that red substance.
I'm looking at 28B, I'm placing it on the Alamo. We see the scale here for damage A. Tell me how far off the ground damage A is.
This is about 5 feet 6.5 inches.
We're looking at 28C, I just placed on the Alamo. Help us understand the purpose of the measurement of this photo.
This is showing the height of the top of the bunk bed from the ground up.
How tall is the top portion?
About 5 feet 5 inches.
I'm placing 28D on the Alamo. What are we looking at here in this photo?
This is the wall that the bunk bed was originally on. However, now the bunk bed has been moved away from the wall, and now you can see those T-scale scales on the wall.
We're looking at.
So they're saying the shots actually went down.
Is this just a
That makes more sense.
The measurement we did earlier for the height of the bunk bed?
Yes.
Can they just have a moment to kind of see it, please? Do I just have a moment to convert?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go.
Return. Scissors.
Yeah, down from the top bunk. Mm-hmm.
Press?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Ms. Bader?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you.
Let's see
You're a
what the
crime scene
defense
technician
has.
At the Sheriff's Department?
I am.
You're doing that for quite a few years, correct?
Correct.
And you're not sworn law enforcement, but you are a civilian employee?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so pretty much your involvement in this case going to be limited to a lot of the things that you discussed with Ms. Rader?
Yes.
Right, so you basically were the main processor in the home, downstairs, staircase, and upstairs as well?
Yes.
Okay. And did anybody assist you at the time that you were doing all your work?
My partner, CSI Daniel Janicek.
She did a Faro, right?
Yes.
And she did the diagram?
Yes.
Okay. And that's typical for you guys to divide up the work. You'll label, process everything, and she Faro and diagram. That's typical?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you've indicated that GSM is a red substance scale marker.
Yes.
Right. And then PM is a photo marker, just a photo marker. Is that item collected?
Yes.
It is, okay. And then YSM is a yellow scale marker. Is that just damage or is it an item collected as well?
Damage.
Just damage, okay. All right. First off, let's talk about phones. My understanding that there were 2 phones that you collected in this case, is that correct?
There were 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So we have a blue iPhone that was found where?
The blue iPhone was on the couch downstairs.
Okay. And do you know whose phone that is?
No, I do not.
Okay. There was a red phone, looked like it was in a charger inside the children's room, correct?
Yes.
All right, so what are these other 2 phones?
There was the one that was evidence marker 15 that was in the backpack in the master bedroom, and then the Adidas bag. There was also a cell phone.
Okay, so there's 2 phones that are found in bags in the master bedroom. Do we know if those were even working, anything like that?
I do not know.
Okay. What, if anything, are you going to do with the blue iPhone that was on the couch?
Collect it, put it into evidence.
All right, any other processing would be done, downloading, things like that, by other people?
Correct.
All right. And did you ever do anything with a phone identified as belonging to Shirley Bass?
I do not know.
The phones you have mentioned, the one blue iPhone on the couch and the red phone upstairs in the kids' room, we have the 2 that are in either an Adidas bag or a backpack in the master bedroom in the closet. Is that the extent of any phones in this case?
Yes.
All right. All right, I want to go downstairs real quick. You have a green scale marker, A and B. A was a red substance on the living room floor,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. And green scale marker B was on the living room couch.
Yes.
Okay. And did you know that Mr. Bass was sitting on that couch with his son?
No.
Okay. Basically, you're not that privy, nor are you told a lot of facts. You're there to document the scene.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
Did
smart.
you go upstairs?
Yes.
You do. All right. Now, you had marked a lot going up the stairs, correct?
Yes.
All right. And coming down as well?
Yes.
You saw anything else? Okay. If you are coming down that staircase, would you go near the area to get on the couch where you found green scale marker A on the floor? Here, let's put, all right, let us
Put it on the Elmo.
States 22A.
That's gonna be a new hit song. Put it on the Elmo.
All right, so this is our green scale marker here.
Yes.
All right, and that is going to be green scale marker A, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then we have, this is the couch we have been talking about, correct?
Correct.
And Ms. Reeder showed you some chairs before. Those chairs are further down, separated from the main couch, closer to the glass slider. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Now, when you have, here again is my question, States Exhibit, we just cited green scale marker A. The staircase, best way to do this. I'm going to take my pen. Staircase is going to be this way.
No.
Okay, where's the staircase?
The other way, kind of in front of that pink Jeep.
What is it?
The pink Jeep all the way in the back.
The pink Jeep?
Yeah.
Okay. So the staircase
Is-
is this way.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So this substance that you saw down here in green scale marker A, it was near
There you go,
this
World
couch
Time.
that I'm pointing to, which is the large couch with the evidence marker 1 on it.
Yes.
Okay. And when we say red substance A states 22B, just for the record, that's what we're speaking of, correct?
Yes, correct.
What, if any processing did you do on red substance A besides take a photograph and measure?
I collected a swab from it.
All right. Are you the one to determine what swabs would need to be sent off?
No.
Okay. Did you do anything, is there anything you could have done to preserve possibly a shoe print or a footprint?
Possibly.
Did anybody ask you to do such?
No.
All right, I want to talk about swabs that you took in the kids' room. From what everything that you testified to, it seems that on the top bunk itself, correct me if I'm wrong, the only real swab on the mattress itself would have been green scale marker O. Is that fair?
On the mattress itself?
On the mattress?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get to that. While I'm going up the stairs, 22H states exhibits, yellow evidence marker 3. Is this the gauze that you're speaking of?
Yes.
All right. Do we know the significance at all of this gauze?
I do not.
And there was also a clip that was on the couch downstairs?
Yes.
Like a clip you would have like a bandage on and you would clip it?
Yes.
Do you know why that was bothered to be collected?
I do not.
Okay, all right. Is somebody directing you what evidence to collect?
Yes.
All right. All right, so let's go back. If I put these out of order, you guys okay? All right, thank you. I'm trying not to, but. Let's look at this one. This is States Exhibit 22R. Okay, all right. And this, ooh, can't see it in that one. Hang on. Let's use this one. 22S. All right. Our green scale marker O is going to be, and I'm pointing to the green scale marker, the sole green scale marker that's on the mattress.
Yes.
Got it. What are you actually documenting there? Are you documenting this stain, this stain, this stain? Is there a stain somewhere here I can't see? What stain are you documenting?
It's the pooling of blood above the green scale marker O.
Gotcha. So this area here?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, I'm pointing between the green
No, she
scale
calls it
marker
blood
O
now.
and the pillow. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to stay in the same topics. All right. States 22Q. There are 3 red substances you're going to mark, and that is going to be L, M, and N. That is going to be on the ledge, and the ladder that is near the more eastern end of the bunk bed, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, there were some other blood stains, like, for example, we can see one that is to, let's say, the part that's right above the staircase, if that's fair. We see a little drip there. Granted, there's going to be maybe some other spots, but these are the ones that got marked. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. When you got there, Miss Bader, in the same exhibit that's up, this comforter Am I looking here, and I'm pointing to the right item, is this the Mandalorian comforter?
Yes.
Star Wars?
Yes.
I would know that. And then you have like a softer, smaller one, that's going to be Batman.
Yes.
And for the record, I'm just pointing to the one that's over to the left.
Yeah.
What processing at all are you going to do of the Batman? Like,
The Batman, I just documented any holes that I observed.
all right, no holes.
There was holes in it, but
Do you think it was holes potentially from projectile that you had to be concerned
I
with?
couldn't say that for certain.
Okay. And the Mandalorian comforter?
Same thing, I documented the holes that I observed, and I took a swab of a red substance.
Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit later, because I do understand you do some additional work in this case involving that Mandalorian comforter?
Yes.
All right, we'll get to that since it's later in time. We'll keep that picture here. All right, and then you marked Q and R, which were the two things that were on side of the wall near the bottom bunk.
Yes.
Okay. Near where we saw the teddy bear.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of L, M, and N, and then we have, let me go back for 1 minute. We had on the wall P, and here it is, States Exhibit 22R. I am pointing to P. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So besides L, M, and N on the ladder area and the ledge near the ladder, O, the one area on the mattress that you told us is the area between the green scale marker and the pillow. We have P, which is the wall we just looked at, and Q and R are the ones below.
Yes.
Is that the extent of the green scale markers you did inside this bedroom?
No.
Okay. What other ones did you do?
There's the one on the floor,
Okay.
there's the two in the doorway, and then one on the pillow,
Okay.
which is the pillow that was on the ground.
The pillow on the ground, right? I think we looked at that earlier.
Yes.
The little spot. Okay. All right. In terms of anything else on that mattress, more towards the east end, I'm going to see if I can find. Did you collect, let me strike back since I have this, 22II? That is a pink blanket on the bottom bunk.
Yes.
Near evidence marker 5, which is going to be a casing, is that correct?
Correct.
Right. Was this blanket collected?
It was not.
Did you do any processing on the pink blanket that's on the bottom bunk?
No.
Interesting.
22KK, is this the Mandalorian comforter that we are looking at in this state's exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. Now 8, 9, and 10, that's going to be 3 of the casings, correct?
Yes, correct.
And on top of the bed, we also have 6. So we have 4 casings on top,
Yes.
which are going to be 6, 8, 9, and 10. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Then we have the one on the bottom bunk, which is 5.
Yes.
All right. And what brands were these 5 casings?
There was Norma and Hornaday.
Norma and Hornaday. Okay, those are 2 different types of manufacturers?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to point now the best I can in the same state's exhibit. We have, for example, let's say I am in the northern part of the mattress. I am to the left of the Mandalorian comforter, and I'm pointing to some red spots on the bed. Was this swabbed at all?
No.
Okay. I am pointing over to some what appears to be red substance on the wall, which will be the east wall. Is that correct, Ms. Bader?
Yes.
And it's also going to be then for the picture to the right of the Mandalorian comforter.
Correct.
Did you swab that?
I did not.
I see some blood behind evidence markers 9 and 10 on the wall. Did you swab that blood?
What's she
Did not.
getting at?
And do you know how this comforter came to be in this position as we see it when you documented it?
I do not.
When you were looking at that Mandalorian comforter, we just looked at some areas of blood that were not swabbed. Aren't there a couple of other areas on the mattress of some blood around the comforter, like where it's folded, it'll lay this way and there'll be a little spot, that there was some additional blood?
Yes.
Okay. And that wasn't swabbed either?
No.
And for the record, that's all going to be on the east end of the bunk bed, the other side from the pillow.
Correct.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the items in the children's room. standard procedure to take a picture of the casing.
Yes.
You're then going to take a close-up of it and all that, correct?
Yes, correct.
While
Y'all
I'm
are
looking
getting
for
on
that,
her
I see
voice.
another photo I'd like to ask you about, 22NN. We were just talking about some areas that were not swabbed. I see over here as well on the right side of the wall. Was that swabbed?
No.
And it looks like we can see a little bit clearer what's between 9 and 10 on the back of the wall above 9 and 10. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the same, that was not swabbed, correct?
Correct.
22RR. And of course, all these photos are taken right by you, correct?
Yes, correct.
There's an area here where we have the comforter under yellow evidence marker 11. I see some areas of blood here. The best I can describe is it's almost like I described earlier, in almost an area of a U shape where the comforter is going around it, semicircular. Do you see this area I'm speaking of?
Yes.
And it is near the back of the bunk bed, near the wall, near the frame. Was any of that swabbed?
No.
Okay. We can see some of the other red substance I was speaking of down on the lower right portion as well. This red substance
No GSR
here,
testing,
was that
no.
swabbed to determine whose blood that was?
No.
Okay. Same photograph over here on the back ledge of the bunk bed, which is gray up against the wall. We have an area right here. I am circling that. It is on the top ledge, just above, say, the right side of the comforter. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. Did you swab that to determine whose blood that was?
No.
Okay.
And see, that's the thing. Obviously, these crime scene investigators are instructed on what they're supposed to get, but that doesn't mean they can't and couldn't have swabbed all of this extra blood and figured out where it came from and said, hey, we just took it. But I guess people they're not going to go above and beyond in that way.
Over same exhibit, more towards the left of the comforter, or more west, we have an area here I am circling. Was that swabbed?
No.
We're on the same exhibit as well. We're getting up more towards the west end, over by where the pillow's going to be, and we have this area here. That's going to be below your damage B and your marker A. Is that correct?
Yes.
Close, close in that area. All of this blood here, do you know whose blood that is?
No.
Did you swab that?
No.
Okay. There's also some other
What?
areas that I see. I am pointing to below that amount of substance.
They didn't swab any of
Still
this.
again to the west and to the left of the Mandalorian comforter, pointing it out for the jury. Was that swabbed?
No.
Okay. (22EEE). Is this the mattress in which was cut open to get the projectile out of it?
Yes.
22DD. Is that the mattress as you are taking the layers off to expose the projectile?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have previously testified, have you not, and documented in your report something different than you testified here today. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. How did you find out that you had made a mistake?
I misspoke when I was writing because we did bring it down to the bottom bunk, so I misspoke to say what mattress that was.
No worries. So when we are looking at the two exhibits, which is 22EEE and DDD, it's the same mattress.
Yes.
This is the mattress that was on the top bunk.
Correct.
That you got the projectile out of.
Correct.
Right. So when you testified under oath in your deposition and you wrote all throughout your report and property sheets that it was the projectile from the bottom bunk mattress, that was an error.
Correct. It was a misspokenness.
Okay. All right. Well, not just misspoken, it's in your reports too, right?
Right, but I'm saying
Okay.
the mattress that was on the bottom bunk that we brought down to the bottom bunk, but this was originally the top mattress.
Okay. Right.
Interesting.
And you documented your property receipts the same way, correct?
Correct.
Projectile from bottom bunk mattress.
Correct.
Very interesting. So we got another messed up report. Do they ever get reports right? Misspokenness? That's not even a word. Is that a word?
Picture here, 22RRR. Talked about this a little bit ago. Blurry there. There we go.
Misspokenness.
I am pointing to the area
It's
of
not
red
a word.
substance on the west side of the bunk bed in this photograph that is below yellow marker B. We see the rod, we see yellow marker A, and green scale marker P. Is that right? All right.
Yes.
This large substance here, was any of that tested to determine what child was in that area?
No.
22 SSS, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but on the eastern side, or to the right of the photograph, this area of red substance, that was swabbed?
No.
Okay. And no swab is done to determine which child's potential blood that may be, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Come
all right.
on, CSI.
Okay.
Misspokenness sounds good, but nah. Yeah, we don't do that here. It was my misspokenity. It wasn't actually incorrect. Come on, man.
All right, so I want to talk now about what was recovered in the children's closet. Okay. I am going to show you what was marked for identification as Defense Exhibit 1. Ask you if you recognize this.
Yes.
Okay. And did you take that photograph?
Yes, I did.
And you processed and collected some of the items that were in that photograph, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move Defense Exhibit 1 into evidence and ask to publish.
All right, it'll be received.
Thank you.
I don't have an objection to any of those.
Okay. All right. So Defense Exhibit 1, is this the closet in the
Thank you,
children's
Jacqueline.
bedroom?
Yes.
And you located a purse. Give us an idea approximately, because I see a lot of things in the closet. Give me an idea where that purse is in this picture.
You can actually see the bag. It's that,
That item.
the brown suede.
Okay. Let's say like right under the arm of what looks like a suede or leather jacket.
Yes.
Is that fair? Okay. Now, did you collect that purse?
The purse, no.
Why?
I was not instructed to do so.
Nobody told you to collect it. So you don't know whose purse that even is.
Correct.
Now, there were some items inside that, however, you did collect.
Correct.
States 22, UUU. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that in fact the purse we were just speaking of with some items placed on top of it?
Yes.
And for the record, marked by evidence marker 19.
Yes.
Is that kind of marking everything in that photograph?
Yes.
Right. So tell me what we're looking at in this photo.
This is the holster. There's a magazine and a box of ammunition.
Now that ammunition that we see here, just in case you need to refresh yourself, I have zoomed in on the state's exhibit. Please tell the jury what box of ammunition, what caliber you view from that purse.
Here we go.
Norma 380 auto.
And go ahead.
And you see, oh boy. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. We're gonna let it keep
Tell us,
going.
Ms. Bader, if you don't mind, what are these other two items? One looking a little gold and one black. What are these?
A magazine and a holster.
Do you know what type of firearm can fit that magazine?
I do not.
What, if any, processing did you do with the box of ammo, the holster, or the magazine?
I did not process that.
The firearm that you collected in this case was a .380, correct?
It was a Glock 42.
Glock 42. It's .380 caliber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a nice gun. And again, they don't know what happened here. All they know is, oh, okay, well, hey, we're going to go and we're going to swab here, swab there. We're going to see if we can figure out what happened. But they're not aware of what's going on and what the police saw and what happened and what they did. So it's interesting.
States 22P. This is what we have kind of called the baby's bassinet. This was in the children's room.
Yes.
Not too far from the bunk bed, correct?
Correct.
All right. And it is evidence, yellow evidence marker 7. What am I looking at here, Ms. Bader?
It is a piece of a gun holster clip.
What does it do? What does that do?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. So you don't know if like you cover the gun with it or you cover the
I'm pretty
magazine?
sure it clips off onto a holster, but.
Please, passive
I'm not an
aggressive.
expert.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right. And then we see next to it what looks like a piece of chicken that may have been eaten in some sort of, styrofoam bowl. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. What, if any, processing did you do with this clip, would you call it?
Yes.
Clip? What processing did you do with that clip that is found in the baby's bassinet, in a baby bassinet in the kids' room?
I did not process that.
They took
And
a
this
picture.
is located, states 22C. It says C. That was located not far from the bunk bed, correct?
Correct.
You had mentioned earlier an area of blood on the floor. That's kind of an area in which first responders put Jayla down. Were you aware of that?
I do not know that.
All right. And then you had seen a drop or two on a pillow that was on the ground.
Correct.
Then there was some potentially like on the door jamb and on the door coming in and out of this bedroom.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so do you collect the box of .380 ammo, the magazine, and the holster in evidence marker 19?
Yes.
Okay, but not the purse?
Correct.
Okay. Did you look inside the purse, inside the pockets to determine whose purse it was?
That was not my job.
Understood. Did Detective Holbelman have any involvement with this lady's purse and the items inside of it?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, all right. Does he have to like handle the ammo or anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right. So you were the one that collected it, well, not the purse, but the items inside. Put it
She
into
said, well,
evidence,
not
and
the
no
purse.
processing on it. That would
Dang.
be you.
Yes.
Under the direction of Detective Holbelman.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so basically in this case, you had projectile, like a hole in the wall, which you marked as A, correct?
Correct.
And that's going to be a yellow scale marker?
Yes.
Okay, so we had yellow scale marker A. That goes through the bathroom wall, which is going to be marked A1.
Yes.
Okay. Then it goes through the shower curtain,
Yes.
which is marked A2. And then A3, it ends up in the shower wall.
She
Yes.
did, Kara, right
Now,
after
that
I typed it.
projectile was fairly damaged or squished, as we would describe it.
Yes.
Okay, do you know the caliber of that projectile as you sit here today?
I do not.
Okay. Now, in terms
happened
of
to
B, the marking on the bed frame, there was green scale marker B.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yellow.
Yes.
Okay, here, let me put a picture up. 22RRR. And this is a good one because it's got the rod in it. So, damage B, because here's our A we just talked about, and our damage B. When you originally documented and spoke with us, did you believe that damage B went through and through the bunk bed?
When I originally documented it, yes.
Oh, here
So
we
did
go.
Detective Holbelman, right?
Yes.
Here we go.
All right. So basically what damage B is, and I use the word nick or damage.
Okay.
It does not extend into the ledge here, and I'm pointing to the ledge above damage B, nor does that specific lineup go into the wall, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, so it's now labeled B, but then you have B1 and B2 that you originally labeled with Detective Holbelman, correct?
Correct.
Right. B1 was believed to be a hole behind the wall, which I see here with the rod.
Yes.
Right? Okay. All right. So originally you guys thought that B had went through the bunk bed into the hole, which would be B1, and then into the wall in the bathroom, B2.
Correct.
Right. You then later determined at some point that B
Ricochet,
is
yeah.
unrelated to B1 and B2.
Yes.
Okay. Same photograph still up. Again, that rod here. Am I presuming then that where that goes into is going to be the hole in the wall, and it'll be now B1?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
And coming to rest, 22 VVV, this is the area in which you were able to recover that projectile.
Yes.
All right. How is the condition of that one, which is B1 and B2?
Good.
Much better than the other one?
Yes.
Okay. Besides the projectile in the mattress and the projectile, the two from the bathroom, any other projectiles anywhere near the children's room or into the bathroom?
No.
Okay. And the children's bathroom or the side bathroom, not the master, that's going to be on the wall behind the children's bunk bed, right?
Yes, correct.
Now, this is interesting. So they updated
Master bedroom. You were talking
their
a lot
findings.
about items found in the master bedroom. Let's talk about that. First of all, you did not find any blood or any damage in the master bedroom, correct?
Correct.
Now, you collected quite a bit in the master bedroom. Let's go over that. One thing you collected was on top of the dresser in the master bedroom, and that was a live round of a 9mm Luger.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so it's not a .380 caliber.
Correct.
All right. And in fact, you can't shoot a 9mm bullet in a .380, correct?
That's not for me to determine.
What? So there was more than one gun fired.
We'll check with other people later. All right, next. S&W Mag R spent casings in the Adidas bag. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. So spent, what does that mean, Miss Bader?
That means the bullet has been fired.
So maybe somebody had went to a gun range and brought the casings home?
It's possible.
I don't know, something like that. All right. S&W Mag R, are those like rifles? Is that a shotgun? Is it just a larger caliber? What is that?
I do
What
not
is
know.
going on here?
You collected that?
Yes.
All right. And in fact, that's what we saw where you had a piece of brown paper down and you had all the items from the master bedroom on that.
Yes, correct.
All right. Also in the Adidas bag was 9mm Lugal toll ammo, again, spent casings. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. Also in the Adidas bag, we had 9mm Luger toll ammo, NFCR spent casings. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
All right. Then we had 9mm Luger loose live rounds in that same dresser.
Yes.
All right.
What is
So
going
it
on
looks
here?
like there are no items in the master bedroom that are of .380 caliber, correct?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. The only .380 caliber was the items in the purse in the child's bedroom closet.
As far as I know.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know you answered. I apologize. I looked away. All right. Did you have any information or were you aware that Mr. Bass has a permit to carry concealed?
I did not know that.
Okay. Would that involve anything in which you were processing?
No.
Okay. Now, we have two adults that live in that house and share that master bedroom. Can you tell us all of these items that are not .380 caliber, that you collected from the master bedroom? Do they belong to Mr. Bass, Mrs. Bass? Do we know?
I couldn't tell you.
And do you do any processing of all
This
those
trial
items that
started
were
on
found in the
Monday.
master bedroom? Besides the gun?
No.
Covering stuff. Look at my notes. I don't want to have to repeat things I've already asked you. Now, the damage that we talked about a little bit ago in the bathroom, where we have the B1 and B2, and then we have the A1, 2, and 3, you cannot say for sure that is related to this incident, correct?
Correct.
But you have to document what you see, correct?
Correct.
The shower curtain, in which was part of projectile A, I believe it was A2, where it had went through the shower curtain, was there an accompanying hole there?
Yes.
Was it collected?
Yes, the one in the A3 you're talking about? Yes.
Okay.
Was the shower curtain collected?
No.
Okay. The magazine clip that we looked earlier, I may have asked you this, let me know. The magazine clip in the baby bassinet, you wasn't quite sure how it was used, correct? It was in the pink bassinet. No swab, no prints done, nothing on that, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You
How
did
did this
attempt
happen?
to lift prints off the firearm that you located, the .380 caliber, or Glock 42, inside the drawer of the master bedroom, is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you able to lift any prints?
Yes.
Or take photographs?
Photographs, yes.
Okay. Do you know any results?
I do not.
And you do not handle that, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now that Glock 42, which is a .380 caliber, you did swab it for potentially DNA.
I did.
Did you note any red substance at all on it anywhere?
Not that I can recall.
And what areas of that Glock 42 did you swab?
It would have been the grip and the trigger, the slide and the sights, the barrel, and the magazines.
Okay. Typically to do if you have a firearm?
Yes.
talk about now defense. Let's start with this. Defense 2A and B. Okay. Defense 2A. What am I looking at here, Miss Bader?
This is an interior view of the front door.
Okay. And I see some potential red substance on that. What, if anything, did you do with this potential red substance that is on the back of the front door?
I photographed it.
Okay. This area down here, did you potentially note any pattern potentially for fingerprints?
No,
Okay. You didn't note any pattern, or you tried, couldn't get any?
I did not note.
All right. There was,
Why?
in fact, also some red substance on the door handle itself, correct?
I do not recall that.
All right, we have defense 2B.
To be.
More closer photo you also took.
She's so excited
Any
to be
objection to their
here.
admission?
Oh, she had said no.
All right, they'll be received.
Sorry about that, Judge.
That's all right.
All right, we have some area down here as well that we can see better in defense 2B. Does that appear to be red substance?
It's a discoloration.
Okay. And these are the other two areas. Were you able to, you didn't swab these?
No.
Okay, why not?
To me, it was discoloration on the other side of the door.
Okay. Discoloration, but we do not know because you did not take a swab, correct?
Correct.
Defense 2C. What am I looking at here, Miss Bader?
This is the back sliding glass door.
Okay. I am looking at this child's, what appears to be a child's like car toy that's pink, and it says sunshine on it. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. There's some red substance, I don't know what it is, right here in this area. For the record, I'm taking my pen and I'm just circling a little area of some red here on the child's car. Do you see what I'm speaking of?
I do.
Okay. Was that processed at all?
No, looking closer at it did not determine it to be paint.
But you did not
She
swab
said
it,
the
is that
door
correct?
was
That's
old
correct.
and the floor was dirty.
And this is the sliding glass door, so it's much further down the living room from the couch.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because we had the couch first, and then we had the chair that had the two seats.
Yes.
Then we had the child's toy.
Yes.
All right.
All right, C will be admitted.
I don't have anything.
Just checking the notes, Miss Bader. Bear with me. All right. So let's talk about some work that you did in March of 2024. What were you asked to do in March of 2024?
I was asked to examine the Mandalorian blanket as well as the Batman blanket, and I was swabbing a area on the Mandalorian blanket.
And why were you swabbing an area? What were you swabbing it for?
I was swabbing a red substance that I had done a phenolphthalein test on, which tested positive for the presumption of blood.
Well, you did more than that, didn't you?
I took photographs.
Okay. Didn't you swab or look for possible
So that's
GSR?
barbecue sauce? Oh my gosh.
So when you have the Mandalorian comforter, how many areas did you test phenolphthalein for potential blood?
In this one, I was requested for the area number 6.
Okay, area number 6?
Yes.
Right. And who was marking those? Were you marking areas at the scene, or is that done later?
It's done later.
Okay, do you do it back at headquarters?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you had a positive on area 6.
Yes.
Right. Took a swab for DNA.
Yes.
Took photographs.
Yes.
All right. Now, in terms of possible GSR, tell us about the camera that you used and the light source to try to bring out the GSR.
Sure, so I used 2 cameras. One was called a Fuji IR, which only deals with IR, which is how you're able to see possible gunshot residue. And then we have a Crime Light Auto,
No
which is
GSR,
basically a
right.
newer version of technology that is also able to have the IR filter, and you can see it through that as well.
Okay. So you took how many swabs? Are you going to take swabs, or are you just going to
No.
have these photographs?
Just photographs.
All right. So do you know the results as to whether there was any GSR on the Mandalorian comforter?
I do not.
Okay. And Ms. Bader, was it the Mandalorian comforter and the Batman blanket?
Just the Mandalorian.
Okay.
Why
And
wouldn't
where
they
did you do all
test
this
for
extra
that
work?
when it's a
That was a
shooting?
request by Detective Clay Holman.
Holman? Okay. And I know it goes without saying, but what is GSR?
Gunshot residue.
Okay, and that's residue that may be left if a gun is shot or a person's holding a gun or in the area of a gun.
Yes, correct.
Were you asked to do anything else to test for GSR in this case?
No.
You don't do anything
Crazy.
with Miss Jayla Bass herself, correct?
No.
you don't
And this
attend
happens all the
doctors?
time.
No.
Okay. I have a moment, Judge?
Yes.
Wow. So sad. You think if exactly, you would think if shots were fired, you would automatically test for GSR. Especially if you don't know what happens. Like, hey, come here. We need to get a swab real quick. Crazy.
When we were talking about the processing on the Mandalorian comforter with the ultraviolet light, what does IR mean? Please tell the jury.
Infrared.
So there was two different things you did to try to see if you could visualize the GSR.
Yes, just 2 different cameras.
And you collected a wallet at the scene?
Yes.
Okay. And did you collect the items inside the wallet?
Yes.
Okay. And inside the wallet, I think you saw a driver's license of Mr. Bass, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And in that wallet was his carry concealed permit for firearms. Do you remember that?
I do not recall.
Did you take photographs of everything inside the wallet?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Defense counsel was asking you about some of the other live rounds that were found in the master bedroom. And she asked you wouldn't be able to determine who they belonged to. Do you remember that?
Correct.
And you agreed with her they could have belonged to the vice Shirley or the defendant. You remember that?
Yes, correct.
Now, along with the opposing counsel kept calling it a women's purse, but the bag that was found in the children's bedroom, do you remember what it looked like? It was leather, and it looked like it had 2 straps on it, like a backpack?
Yes.
So, would you be able to determine who the owner of that backpack was?
No.
So, you have no idea sitting here today, or when that backpack was found and you photographed, who owned it or who used it often, right?
Correct.
Would you have been able to determine from where it was found or the photographs that you took who brought that backpack into the kid's bedroom and hid it in that closet?
No.
Now, when you take an item like a firearm into evidence and secure it and swab it, help us understand. Do you swab the same areas every time for DNA?
With guns, typically, yes.
Tell the jury exactly where do you typically take swabs from on a firearm?
So with the guns, we take separate swabs. We'll do a grip and trigger swab, slide and sights, the magazine, and then the barrel.
Now, when you're talking about the slide and sights, I feel like grip is probably self-explanatory, the same with trigger. But when you're talking about slide and sights, help us understand what portion of the firearm are you talking about?
So the slide and sights, the slide is the top of the gun that you would pull back, and then the sights are the little dots on top that you use to help line up your shot.
So we have the slide, the sights, the
I thought she
trigger,
didn't know about
and the
guns.
handle. Specifically, what portion of the handle are we talking about here?
She knows all that, but she doesn't know if a 380 can shoot 9mm. Hey, come on. All right.
The trigger, the grip. Sorry.
The
repeat that.
handle.
That's what
The
we're
front of the
doing
handle.
today.
Oh, the top part.
Okay. Now, you were shown several photos of the top bunk of the children's bedroom, and your
Interesting.
attention was directed to several areas of red substance. Help the jury understand, as a crime scene investigator who has done this hundreds of times, how do you decide what area or what substance to swab and what area or what substance does not need to be swabbed?
So in certain areas, there can
Selective
be a lot
gun
of blood
speculation,
in the scenes.
amnesia.
It depends. We have had blood, me specifically, have had blood stain training that
That's
you are able
crazy.
to, I can't state what a specific blood stain is, but I could kind of tell what it is, and based on that, you determine which areas of substances from each area should be taken, not necessarily each blood swab.
When you are being trained on to be a crime scene investigator, it's help us understand, is it like you can take an infinite amount of swabs per crime scene that you attend?
No.
Okay, help us understand, what are the parameters that you're given when you go to a crime scene and you're being instructed and taught during this blood stain instruction of how to swab and where to swab?
So we work with the crime scene detective, and we determine with them what areas of, because they also know more at the time than we do, and we just kind of walk through and determine the areas that are, that should be swabbed. Yeah. And then any areas back at crime scene is just kind of like how we process things, like the gun is typical of taking those areas to swab.
At one point, you were shown a picture of a pink and purple blanket that was located on the bottom bunk of the children's bunk bed. Do you recall that photo?
Yes.
It looks like a little girl's blanket.
Yes.
Did you notice anything specific on that blanket, like shell casings on top of it or red substance on top of it?
Not that I recall.
So did you locate anything of evidentiary value on that blanket on the bottom bunk?
No.
May I have just a moment, Judge?
Yes.
I'm having further questions.
Judge, can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
I promise it's only one. This reader described the item that you found in the child's bedroom as a backpack. You, in fact, in your report and throughout your deposition, referred
There's a
to it
report
as
again.
a purse, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice try.
Anything else?
Ain't no backpack.
All right, you can step down, ma'am. Thank you.